I'm doing what I enjoy doing. It is such fun creating characters, writing stories. It's an exciting life. And when you do something that you know the fans seem to enjoy, that gives you such satisfaction, you don't want to stop.
How do the 16 personality types make up your favorite Marvel characters? Is Spider-Man an ENFP or actually an INFP? What about Nick Fury, Thor, Black Widow, Black Panther? And how are the comics and movies different? This video is a companion video to the 16 personality types as the Avengers, so make sure to also watch that analysis. But for now, let's dive in with perhaps the most iconic Marvel hero of all time, Spider-Man. Spider-Man first arrived in comic form in the early 1960s. Since then, he's shown up dozens of times, slightly altered for comics like The Spectacular, Ultimate, and The Amazing Spider-Man. Then in 2002, Sam Raimi brought the web slinger to the big screen, and he's arrived twice more in live action and a few more times in animation, with the Spider-Verse actually showing a few more Spidey options for fans to wrap their heads around.
You're like me. How?
This is why labeling Spider-Man or Peter Parker is so difficult. Every Spidey is somewhat awkward, interested in science, and like any teen, ridden with anxiety. Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's versions were more introverted than the latest installment from Tom Holland. Holland's Parker is more obsessed with likability in school, and there's less of a focus on the sad death of Uncle Ben. His love life is more about a crush than a real romance, at least for now, and this is why Spidey's Myers-Briggs or 16 personality profile has also changed. Comic book Spidey and Sam Raimi's Spider-Man are both likely the idealistic and dedicated INFP or Mediator, where Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is likely an ESTP or entrepreneur.
That Spider guy on YouTube, right? Call me Spider-Man! Okay, Spider-Man!
As for the latest installment, he's likely an ENFP or campaigner. In the first film, his social life isn't all that great, but he does want a social life. He's eager to be accepted as one of the Avengers, but he's also intuitive, imaginative, optimistic, and passionate.
Shut that off! You
Don't make me come down there, you punk!
He's keenly aware of future possibilities, aka his spider sense, and he brings zest, joy, and liveliness to all of his interactions. Sometimes he's disappointed when he idealizes people, and they're unable to fulfill these expectations. Hopefully this somewhat clarifies the different versions of Spider-Man and the different Spider-Verses. For now, let's dig in with the most accurate portrayals of our favorite heroes. Along with Tom Holland's Parker, other ENFPs include Charles Xavier from the comic, Balder, Sue Storm, and Captain Britain. Next, there's the ENFJ, or the protagonist. For this diplomat, let's look to the Wasp. This character is encouraging and supportive, sometimes called the Giver, and has a special talent for bringing out the best in others. This leader enjoys inspiring others to bring out their full potential. Along with the Wasp, there's Khazar, She-Hulk, comic book version of Phil Coulson, Loki, and young Charles Xavier. INFP, the Mediator. In our Avengers video, we discussed Agent Carter. There's also Quicksilver. This character is idealistic, dedicated, and curious. He's fueled by an intense feeling of deeply held ethics, and he seeks an external life that portrays his inner values. This intensely focused individual is flexible and laid back, but also aggressively defensive when threatened. We can also think of comic book Spider-Man, comic book Falcon, Kitty Pryde, and Carol Danvers. INFJ, the Advocate. Our final diplomat is the Advocate. Matthew Murdock's Daredevil is value-driven, independent, and complex. He seeks relationship over events and has a clear vision on how he plans to help others. He's often mistaken as an extrovert and has a deep understanding of complex issues. He's driven to find cooperative and creative solutions for all problems. We can also think of Groot, Jean Grey, Wilson Fisk, and Simmons. ISTJ, the Logistician.
It's now or never. Yes, sir.
Among the Sentinels, we can think of Okoye from the Black Panther. She's in somewhat of a sidekick role, but she's nobody's sidekick. She's a subject among the Wakanda, but a leader in her own right. She's reserved, serious, thorough, and always dependable. She's capable of eradicating distractions with extreme focus and makes the tough decisions others would rather avoid. Think of Vision, Elektra, and Nebula. Next, there's the Defender. We covered this ISFJ in the other video as Captain America, so let's talk Wolverine. This character is loyal, committed, steadfast, and meticulous when it comes to accomplishing his goals. He's reluctant to talk to strangers and sometimes appears standoffish, but he remains people-oriented and prefers working alone. The Captain left the Avengers in the franchise, and Wolverine was never a fan of the team, but he eventually gave in. We can also think of Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Jarvis, Scarlet Witch, and Night Nurse. ESTJ, the Executive. Also known as the Guardian, the ESTJ is energetic, self-satisfied, and practical. We can think of Thor, but also Thanos. This character is realistic, determined, and efficient, a natural leader with no interest in things that do not serve a clear purpose. He's dedicated to maintaining institutions and society while being outgoing and opinionated. Both Thor and Thanos are forceful in implementing their plans.
You should have gone for the head.
We can also think of Namor, Ben-Urich, and Thor's mom, Frigga. Next is the ESFJ, the Consul. Storm, from the X-Men, is literal, warm, and genuine. She's serious about what needs to be done and makes it happen. She bases judgments on an internal belief system and responds to others with practical care. We can also think of Ben Grimm from the Fantastic Four, Agent Coulson, Darcy, and Nightcrawler.
Pulse 5 secure.
Next, here's the ISTP, or Virtuoso. Here we can think of Mystique as the operator. She's insightful, adaptable, and self-sufficient. This character excels at reaching the heart of the problem and executing a swift repair. She's an ideal engineer and natural explorer, interested in understanding how the system operates, but also acts with little regard for her own safety. We can think of Beast, Cyclops, Forge, Black Widow, and Gamora. ISFP, the Adventurer. Let's talk about Silver Surfer. This peaceful, friendly, and sensitive character likes to take things at his own pace and live in the moment. He's devoted to other people but not inclined to debate, and he hates arguments. He's highly aware of the balance within the physical world and understands what does or doesn't fit. We can also think of Rogue and Colossus. ESTP, the Entrepreneur.
Like a planet? Like in outer space?
Oh, look. It's like a little puppy, all happy and everything. Do you want to go to space? You want to go to space, puppy? I'll take you to space.
For this one, let's look at the smaller differences between turbulent and assertive. In this example, we've got Ant-Man, the turbulent entrepreneur, and Rocket Raccoon, the assertive entrepreneur. These characters are spontaneous, energetic, and present. They're open to new situations and improvisations if that means getting desired results. Both also enjoy the finer things, as they were both thieves, but they put others first, for the most part.
If only Cap could see you now.
Hilarious.
We can also think of Black Cat, Spider-Woman, Angel, and Gambit. ESFP, the Entertainer, Star-Lord.
Peter Quill, from Terra, raised from youth by a band of mercenaries called the Ravagers, led by Yondu Udanta.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know how this machine worked.
What a bunch of a-holes.
This character is creative, non-traditional, and very active. He enjoys others and material comforts. He swims against the current, but is generally a solid team player. Above all else, he tries to complete tasks with maximum fun and learns by doing, as he often rushes into new problems. Regardless, he's generous, persuasive, and optimistic.
Oh yeah? You don't want to tell me where she is? That's fine. I'll kill all three of you and I'll beat it out of Thanos myself. Starting with you.
Wait, what? Thanos?
We can also think of Jubilee, Johnny Storm, Iceman, Foggy, and even though they feel somewhat different, Drax is also an entertainer.
Sensitive nibbles.
INTJ, the Architect. Finally, there's the four analysts. Let's start with the Architect, Cyclops. He's pragmatic, bold, and original. He's prepared to lead when no one else is willing to step up, and he's got a low tolerance for inefficiency or emotionalism. This character is gifted at analyzing and formulating complex theories, as he quickly sees patterns amongst the chaos. But he's also the most independent type, so he doesn't always play well with others. We can think of Abigail Brand, Magneto, and Pepper Potts. INTP, the Logician. Reed Richards. The Logician, or thinker, is a character known for being thoughtful and analytical. He spends a great deal of time alone, lost in thought. He's curious about systems and how they work, but also at ease in social situations. He distrusts authority and has little patience for the illogical.
4 have survived.
We can also think of Emma Frost, Hank McCoy, and Jane Foster. ENTJ, the Commander. Let's talk Doctor Strange. This character is dynamic, fair-minded, and decisive. He's focused on the most efficient, most organized way of performing any task. This realistic visionary leader is fierce and often outspoken. His main desire is to create order in the world according to his own vision. We can also think of classic Nick Fury, Odin, and Black Panther. And finally, there's the ENTP, the Debater. We covered the iconic Iron Man in our Avengers video, so let's talk Deadpool. He's clever, enthusiastic, innovative. He has an in-depth understanding of how to improve things, and he appreciates intelligence in others. He's very quick with a perverse sense of humor, and he likes to devise unexpected solutions.
Sorry I'm late. I was rounding up all the gluten in the world and launching into space where it can't not hurt us ever again.
This character gets bored with routine and thinks it can't be done is a personal challenge.
Tell me they got that in slow motion.
And that's our list. Thanks again for watching. If you haven't seen the Avengers video, which covers Thor, Iron Man, Hulk, and an array of other characters from the franchise in greater detail, click that link below and let me know which characters we missed or we missed the mark on, along with which character is the most similar to your personality type.
Terrific.
Cool name. Superpowers?
I can distort electrical fields, including the one inside your brain, causing anxiety, confusion, pain.
So basically you're Dave Matthews. We can use him.